way, Jose.
Red Hot Gotsy, come subscribe, come subscribe, come subscribe, come subscribe.
No way.
Red Hot Gotsy. Alright, so today I am doing another Cobra Kai video, and today I am doing the last video of 2025, at least Cobra Kai video, and I'm going to be doing another one after this, basically just talking about, 2024 in general, but basically I just wanted to, do a video just talking about, just the last thing I wanted to talk about, which is basically season 6 as a whole, in terms of like what's going to be happening in part 3 and just my thoughts on part 2 a little bit and part 1. So without further ado, let's just get into it. It's going to be the last Cobra Kai video of 2024. Now, season 6, part 3 is going to be the last part of the entire show, and it's basically going to end off everything. It's going to end off everyone's character arcs, and we're never going to see, these characters in this show ever again. Now, there's a chance that we might see them in other shows, and, there might be, like, spin-offs, like, similar to the Karate Kid movie, and I'm going to talk about that as well later on, but obviously, when it comes to this, I fundamentally feel like characters like Miguel, Robbie, Tori, Sam, Hawk, Dimitri, but not Dimitri, Daniel, Johnny, yada yada yada, you understand. Those characters should be able to get something that concludes all the conflicts that they've been going through this season. For example, I guess I'll just get Dimitri out of the way. I feel like Dimitri is one of the worst characters in the show at this point. I think they fumbled everything good about his character, but I still feel like there's a chance to at least mend the stuff that they did this season. Like, for example, at the end of part 3, maybe he can talk to Yasmin again and be able to, make up for everything that he did, like apologize and stuff like that. I feel like stuff like that should happen in order to, like, close out Dimitri's arc and, sort of bring him back to bases, like, where he should be in general. Because, this season kind of just broke him. It completely destroyed him because he was trying to have, like, a Hawk sort of arc where he was, becoming more confident and stuff like that. And I hope they sort of retread the ground that they've already covered with Dimitri in terms of, like, making him a better person, making him more confident and stuff like that, and also giving him a place in the hierarchy, because Dimitri has the potential to be on, like, Hawk's level and, like, other characters' level, like Kenny and stuff like that, and Devin, but I feel like he just sells himself short a lot, and he has the ability to be on, like, those characters' level as long as he, like, actually applies himself. When it comes to his actual characterization, I feel like it's been very wonky throughout the entire series, and I hope that in part 3 they make him, again, a lot better, a lot more, like, calm as a character, because he has made up with Hawk. So I hope that he's not as, like, I guess just, like, weak in terms of, like, him wanting to give up all the time like he does in, like, was it part 2, and he did somewhat in, like, in season 2, with his, like, mindset of just not wanting to actually, like, try hard and, like, try to, accomplish something. Because in season 3 he was starting to, like, get out of that, because he got in a relationship with Yasmin. He was the one who fixed his relationship with Hawk, and he ended up forgiving him even though Hawk broke his arm in that season. And he was actually one of the main ones defending Miyagi-Do, with Miguel and Sam, in the LaRusso fight, the LaRusso house fight. So overall, even though he is one of the most damaged characters in the series at this given point, I do hope that he gets better overall. When it comes to the whole scenario with Quan dying, I hope that, this is an alarm bell for Kreese and he does become a better person. But not only that he gives up Cobra Kai so that Johnny can take over, and that overall, I hope Kreese verbally and mentally understands that, and he comes to the conclusion that Cobra Kai, at least the way he has created it, is wrong, and the way that he teaches these kids is wrong. I hope Terry Silver as well actually has somewhat of a, like, redemption arc in terms of, like, him going back to how he was in season 4, where he was more of a normal person and he was just like a rich, businessman essentially, and he was just, living his life, being a normal person. Even though these are the main antagonists of the series, I do want them to have a good conclusion where they actually acknowledge all the bad things that they have done, and they either make up for them in some sort of way, like, for example, Kreese giving up Cobra Kai and giving it back to Johnny after taking it in season 2, and maybe Terry just, I don't know, eventually he has some sort of recollection of, all the stuff that he's done and sort of, like, acknowledges that in some sort of way. When it comes to Miguel, Robbie, Tori, and Sam, I honestly just want them to win their fights and, I guess get their respective, character endings. Like, for example, Miguel joins Cobra Kai again, most likely, and he gets this win against Axel, and then he gets to represent the good version of Cobra Kai, and, he becomes the greatest Cobra Kai student to ever live. Now, since I don't think Robbie's going to win the Sekai Tekai overall, I think, overall he has had a good arc in this season, and he did beat Miguel, so he got over his trauma with the whole second place stuff. He beat Quan, which shows that he's beaten character that Miguel hasn't beaten. And he's shown himself to be a very prominent character in the entire series. He's made up with, his father and stuff like that. So I feel like overall, Robbie's story arc is damn near closed. I do wish that he gets some sort of ranking karate wise, like maybe he becomes a sensei or something along those lines to show that his karate prowess can live on, and he can share that with others, something along those lines, to where like he has something that he can give to the world. I actually think this would be a decent ending for Tori as well, maybe tweaked a little bit. I think Tori should get some sort of compensation in terms of like money or something like that from somebody. Maybe Miguel gives her the money after he wins like the Sekai Tekai, because I think you do get like a decent balance after you win as a award, but like I don't know how much it is specifically, so I don't know how much it's going to help Tori. So I just hope she gets something out of this that will help her with her mother situation, so she can have a funeral and she can support herself and her brother if he still like lives with her and stuff like that. I also hope that Sam gets an interesting character ending where not only is her beef with, or not beef, but her like love triangle situation with Axel is ended, and she obviously didn't cheat, so obviously she's in a better place overall, and she actually is a lot more respectable than she was in other seasons. But I hope that she gets something beyond just that, and that maybe like, I don't know, she can also show off her karate prowess and show that her father's teachings can be shown to other people as well, and maybe she can carry out Miyagi-Do, even though just because Daniel might not want to, or at least he might not want to run a dojo, maybe Sam can run her own dojo or something like that. I could also see Sam just quitting karate as a whole and just wanting to focus on real life and, maybe her studies and stuff like that, college or whatever. I could really see that happening because, Sam wasn't the most into like karate in the beginning of the series, and obviously she did learn a lot from like Miyagi and stuff like that and her own father. But, I could see her just quitting karate overall and just wanting to focus on things that are more important, like, life stuff. I don't have much to say about Axel in particular. I just hope that he gets defeated and that he's not as annoying in part 3 as he was in part 2, because goddamn. And overall, I hope that his character arc with Wolf is finished, and that Wolf, I don't know, again, like I said in the last video, or one of my last videos, that he either stops being a sensei, or that someone has a talk with him about the stuff that he's done, and that he actually acknowledges that, or I don't know, maybe Axel just switches dojos or something like that. I don't know, just something to where Wolf cannot just hurt other students ever again. Now, when it comes to Kenny and Devin, obviously I think Kenny has probably been his best self in this season. Well, I actually liked his character arc in season 4 personally, but in terms of like objective, like, well, I'm gonna say personality wise, I feel like personality wise he is a much better person, much better character in this season. And I like that he also made amends with Anthony. And Anthony, he did his own thing, with the laxatives and the laxatives and everything, which was kind of funny. It was unnecessary, but he did make up for what he did he didn't do it, but he did make up for him bullying Kenny. And I don't like that Devin didn't technically get any comeuppance, because again, it kind of irritates me how she was the one who did it, but it's kind of like, it's almost like the season hates Anthony, even though Devin was the one who did the thing. And it's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of weird, but I'm just glad they made up, because I do genuinely care for Kenny, actually getting a good ending, being happy and stuff like that. So just good on them, honestly. Now, when it comes to the plot as a whole and where karate goes from here, I hope after they win the Sekai Tekai that Miyagi-Do doesn't become like a mainstream thing, because I don't think Miyagi-Do should, and even with Miyagi himself, I don't think he would want that for his dojo, for his teachings. And I feel like Daniel really disrespected that when he, turned Miyagi-Do into, or he at least him, putting Miyagi-Do in this like in the spotlight and stuff like that is not what Miyagi would have wanted. So, and many people have said this, and it's not even just me. It's like a common thought. And people are even making fun of Daniel for the fact that he glazes Miyagi all the freaking time. So it's like, I feel like overall, Daniel has a warped perception of what Miyagi would want or would do in any given situation. So I feel like he needs to also get rid of that in order to make, Miyagi-Do just better as a whole. And also, as a side note, it would be interesting if Quan actually does get a funeral and we get to see, his family and stuff like that, and see, just their reaction to his death, and, maybe that's acknowledged after the whole tournament, and we get like a moment of silence for him, because he actually was an interesting character, one of the best in season 6. And I don't know, it would be interesting. We never necessarily seen like a funeral scene or whatever outside of like Miyagi's, or not Miyagi's, like a funeral scene. We see his grave. So going back to Cobra Kai, it would be interesting if Kreese, goes to Quan's funeral, or not, either funeral or grave, and he gets to, contemplate all the things that he has done and what he should do next. And, just, I don't know, a scene like that. And it would kind of be a parallel to how Daniel, looked at Miyagi's grave. Overall, I don't want the valley to be filled with karate students overall, but I do want the main cast to elevate karate to a higher degree, to where it's more represented in the valley. I don't want it, again, mainstream, but I do think if they do that, I hope they do it responsibly, and mainly with Cobra Kai and not Miyagi-Do. I hope we also do end the show with seeing Carmen actually have the baby, and we get to see, Miguel and Robbie actually have a new sibling. And again, it would close off the entire show and, give Johnny his, basically his arc would go full circle, and he finally gets his redemption. He finally gets the happy family that he deserves at this point. That's basically all I have to say for this video. Comment, subscribe, like. Let me know what you think about season 6 as a whole. Let me know what you want to see in part 3. Honestly, I'm not sure, other than what I've already said, what I would want. Honestly, I do think that I would also want to see more Amanda as well, I guess, because she's just great. But I do like her, what we've seen from her in part 2 and stuff like that already. But yeah, overall, I love this show, and I just hope that in 2025 that we get the ending that we deserve, and that it leaves at least most of the fans, happy. Now, you can't please everybody, but overall, I want to look back on this show fondly, and I think I am regardless. And yeah, just comment, subscribe, like. Let me know what you think about the video, and yeah, I'll see you guys later.
No way, Jose.
Red Hot Gotsy, come subscribe, like, come subscribe, like, come subscribe, like, come subscribe.